So once again, you are welcome to Ezido Multi Enterprise. Today is day 3 of our solar class, and today we are taking lesson 3. So what are we going to look at today? We are looking at solar system components in details. So we are going to look at probably all the solar system components in details. We'll be looking at them one after the other. So in the previous week we talked about safety, talked all about safety. So if you have not seen that, you can go back and check our previous video which was posted on Wednesday. So you are welcome on board. Let us move. So in solar system, when we want to talk about components, the first thing that comes to mind is the solar panel. The solar panels are the engine room, or the engine itself, not the room, the engine itself of every solar system. So the solar panel converts sunlight into DC power, and these solar panels is what generates the electricity itself. So every other component are dependent on this solar panel. Without the panel, there is nothing like solar. So there are different types of solar panels. So let us look at each of them. The first type of solar panel we have is the monocrystalline solar panels. This type of panels is made from pure silicon crystals, single silicon crystals. And there is one thing about them: in their appearance they are quite different because they are like very dark, almost like a dark black or a dark blue. And these monocrystalline solar panels, they have high efficiency of 15 to 22% and longer lifespan, but they are very expensive. They are the most expensive of all. So the monocrystalline solar panel is one type of solar panel. So as an installer or anyone who is interested in solar, before you go into solar system or you want to even install in your own house, you have to understand the types of solar panels that are available. Monocrystalline is one, and the second is the polycrystalline. This polycrystalline is made from multiple silicon crystal. It's not a pure crystal, so as such it's not as efficient as the mono, because it is not as pure as the mono, and the appearance is very bluish, light blue. And you see it has lower efficiency of 13 to 17% and slightly shorter lifespan, and it's more affordable. It's always cheaper. So that is the difference between mono and poly. And we have a third one, which is called the thin film panels, or the flexible panels as some people will call it. So these thin film panels, they are lightweight and very flexible, easy to install, and works better in low light. When there is low sun, it works very well, or even in hot condition, because other solar panels during hot conditions they don't produce much. So panels need, as it is working, it still need to be cooled. So this thin film, it works better even in hotter condition, but it is the least efficient, and it has 10 to 12% efficiency. I require more space for you to have a panel of one 1 kilowatts. The space a thin film will take will be more than the space monocrystalline will take. So that's just the difference. It is very light, it is very flexible, and very easy to install. So that's the type. You have the first one, the monocrystalline, or just call it the mono panels, the poly panels, and the thin film panels. This panel is not that common in this part of the world, but the mono and the poly is very, very common. And the next thing we'll talk about is the inverters. The inverter is the brain of the system. It converts the DC to the AC so that appliance can use it properly. So this is what the inverter does, and we have different types of inverter based on different categories of classification. So there are different type of inverters, and you all, or we all, need to understand these various categories or various types of inverter. Then the first categories we are going to look at is according to waveform. There are inverters have different waveform. There is the pure sine wave, there is the modified sine wave. First, the pure sine wave. This pure sine wave, any inverter that is categorized under pure sine wave, they produce a very, very clean power, just the same as the grid, or just the same as NEPA. You understand? So they produce pure, clean power. That is why it's called pure sine wave. You can see the waveform. The waveform looks like S going up and down. That is how a sine wave look like, and that is how the grid wave also looks like. And every inverter that is categorized under this pure sine wave, they are the best. They are the best for all our appliances. They can power anything, and they are safe for all appliances. Not all inverters are safe for all appliances. So this pure sine wave, you look at this Felicity inverter that we have under here, they are pure sine wave, and so many other inverters that you have out there, they are pure sine wave, and they are very, very common. And the next inverter that we are looking according to waveform is the modified sine wave. When you look at the modified sine wave, you look at the wave pattern, you see that it is quite different from the pure sine wave. And most of these inverters that are called sachet inverters, most of them are modified sine wave. They have rougher waveform. The wave is not smooth, is rough, because it's trying to mimic a pure sine wave, but it's not a pure sine wave. Is very, very rough and not suitable for sensitive electronics. There are some TVs that it cannot power. There are some TVs which are very, very sensitive, which require pure sine wave. They will not you will not be able to power it. If you use this kind of inverter to power things like fan, keep hearing humming sound. The fan will be making noise, hum, and it makes the motor get hotter. So it makes any electric motor, anything that you are using that has electric motor, once you are using it on modified sine wave, the motor tends to get hot very, very fast. It's very, very cheap compared to the pure sine wave. It is very, very cheap. And when you are also charging a rechargeable torch that has some kind of capacitors inside, you'll be hearing some kind of crackling sound or spark sound, like like something is sparking somewhere. So that is because its waveform is not pure and it's not suitable for everything. There are some phone chargers, if you use this inverter, it will blow the charger. So those are the things that are there. So when you want to buy an inverter, you know what you want to use it for. This one, what does it not do? What is good for? Anything heating. Maybe you are working with sodium ion, it's good for all those kind of, it makes them to get hot, and it's very, very good for them. It doesn't have problem with that. And we also have another category according to transformer type. Yeah, you must have been hearing people saying transformer, transformerless inverter, transformer. Yeah, let us break it down properly. Let us use good terms according to electrical engineering. First, the first type of transformer we have is the iron core uh, transformer inverter. There are some inverter that makes use of this kind of transformer. It is called iron core transformer. And there are characteristics of this transformer is that it is very, very heavy, very, very durable. And one thing is that it handles surge properly. It is balanced, it is gallant. That is one thing about this inverter, but it is less efficient. As it loses power due to heat very, very well, and it is very, very bulky and heavy. So when you see a 1 kVA inverter, you see a 5 kVA inverter, they will look big and they will be heavy. If you want to carry it, they will be very, very heavy because they make use of this iron core inverter, iron core transformer rather. And the other type of transformer inverter that we have is the ferrite core transformer inverter, the one people call transformerless. This is the kind of transformer you find inside. It is made of ferrite. So the core is made of ferrite, and this transformer is very, very light. So in all, the inverter will be very, very light, and the efficiency is higher than the iron core inverter, but it does not tolerate surge the way iron core inverter tolerates surge. It can easily get burnt. The kind of surge that the iron core will withstand, this ferrite core will not be able to withstand it sometimes. So this is the category according to transformer. We have seen according to waveform, we have seen according to transformer, and let us see the third one. We have the hybrid and the non-hybrid inverter. This is where many people make some little mistake. They mix what an hybrid inverter is and what a non-hybrid inverter. So basically, people tend to say an hybrid inverter is inverter that comes with charge controller. No, that is not what it means. An hybrid inverter can have charge controller. A non-hybrid inverter can also have charge controller in it. But what is an hybrid inverter? An hybrid inverter is an inverter that combines different sources together. Inverter that you can connect generator to, that you can connect battery to, that you can connect your NEPA to. Any different sources combined in that inverter, that is what makes it an hybrid. It means a mix up of sources combined together. Everyone want to talk about in biology, say a hybrid seed is a crossbreed, something you crossbreed to give you a more better variety. So this inverter is a combination of different sources, and it has smart energy management, and it is more and more expensive for the hybrid inverter. Why the non-hybrid inverter? The non-hybrid inverter, they only use solar and battery. That's just it. You cannot connect NEPA or generator to it. Like many of those sachet inverters, some you cannot connect NEPA or generator to them. They just run directly with solar panel and battery and charge controller. They don't need anything to be connected because there is no vacancy for any other thing to be connected inside. So we have other classifications of inverters also, which we can call the string inverters. The first one is the string inverters. For large system, these string inverters are majorly used for industrial systems. Like this picture here is a string inverter. Like I said before in the previous video, we installed these inverters in at Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library in Abeokuta, and you can see where all the strings came to we terminate all the strings. This is the breaker bus, and this is where we terminate all the strings. And this inverter is about 60 kVA, and we have others that we also installed, some 100, some 60, just like that. So all the strings, in one string you can have like 15 to 17 panel connected in series, and placed and drawn to that inverter. That is how you draw them. The inverter does not use battery. It runs directly from the solar panel to the inverter, and the inverter converts it to AC and sends to be used. And the other type of inverter that we also have is the micro inverters. The micro inverters are inverters which are installed behind each panel for better efficiency, but are more costly. They are more costly, but they have better efficiency. This micro inverter is very, very small. So you install it at the back of the panel. You connect each panel to the terminal. You see it, each panel to one, each panel to one. There are micro inverters that can take two panels, but these ones, each panels to one, each panel to one. And at the panel level, they generate AC current and supply directly to the house. So it is very, very easy to detect fault. It is when any panel is not producing well, you easily notice which panel is producing well, which panel is not producing well, which one shading is affecting, which one shading is not affecting. The energy management is very, very easy using this kind of inverter. So the next thing that we will look at and talk about is the charge controller. The charge controller is the traffic manager. Is the one that controls how your battery charge. It regulates it to safeguard and protect your battery from overcharging and any other thing that can damage the battery. So there are two types of charge controllers that we basically have. The first one is the PWM, the pulse width modulation. This is an older technology, a very cheap technology, and it's very, very easy to work with, and it is less efficient. It is cheap. Anything that is cheap, the efficiency must must be less also. Now, it works with voltage matching. What does that mean? That it means that the voltage of your battery and the voltage of your panel must match. That is where you get better efficiency in this PWM charge controller. If you have a higher, for instance, your battery system is 12 volts and your panel is producing 48 volts, you see, and your charge controller needs just 12 volts, many of them will be burning like heat. So but that is where the MPPT comes into play. It's an advanced technology. It doesn't need voltage matching. All it does is it adjusts itself and extract the maximum power from the panel by itself. It is very, very efficient, up to 30% more than PWM, but it is very, very expensive, more expensive than the PWM. So it is called maximum power point tracking. So just the name alone will tell you what it does. It tracks the maximum power and gets it for you to use. So the next thing in the components of solar system is the battery. This one is the warehouse or the storage system of or the storage unit of the whole system. And there are different type of batteries. And we have the first one, the flooded lead acid battery, FLA. It is the cheapest. It requires regular maintenance, adding distilled water, and it has shorter lifespan, 3 to 5 years. So this FLA It is very is cheaper and requires regular maintenance, topping the distilled water so that the water level will not go down, but the lifespan is not that long. And also we have the sealed lead acid battery, SLA. This include AGM and gel batteries, so they are maintenance free, unlike the FLA. These ones are maintenance free. They are more durable than the flooded battery. This one, you don't need to top the still water. You don't need to do any other kind of maintenance. You just continue to use until it can no longer function, or until its efficiency reduces. And the third one that we have is the lithium ion batteries. This is the best of the best. It has the longer lifespan, 8 to 15 years, or some of 10 to 15 years. It is lighter, unlike the SLA and the FLA. They are heavy. This one is lighter. It is efficient and faster in charging, but it comes at a very expensive price. It is very expensive, but on the long run it is cheaper. Though the initial cost is expensive, but on the long run it is actually cheaper. So the lithium battery, so these things are very important for you when you are installing a system. Sometimes, especially when using MPPT charge controller, the charge controller will ask you what type of battery are you using. You see the FLA, you see the SLA, you see the lithium. So you should be able to identify which battery you are using, so that you can make the correct setting, so that your charge controller will communicate with your battery and do the needful, so that your battery health and the battery charging will be optimized. There are other essential components that are needed in a solar system. Number one is the MC4 connectors. You see those connectors that are the tip of each panels. They are called the MC4 connectors. They are very important because they are standard connectors for solar panels. They ensure safe waterproof connection. So when you lock them together, it is closed. There is water leakage will not get into it to cause rust or any kind of damage. So the MC4 connectors is very important, especially when even interlinking panels. So they are very essential. You use your crimping tool to do it. Don't worry, that will be reserved for the practical practical aspect of it. So the next thing you look at is the solar wire, or the PV cable, photovoltaic cables. So these are special cables, special DC cables. They are stranded. They are not solid wire, they are stranded, and they are special UV resistant, and they are for connecting panels and other components. They are designed to handle outdoor situations, the high temperature, the cold weather, the rain, the sun, the wind, everything. It is designed to handle all those conditions. And the other things that we are going to look at is the mountain rail. Sorry, I had no pictures for the mountain rail. The mountain rails, or aluminum frames, like we call them. They are aluminum extrusions that we use to mount solar panels. They are put on the roof so that there will be clearance between the roof and the solar panel. When there is no clearance between the roof and the solar panel, your panel tends to get hot very fast. But once there is clearance, at least there will be air flowing through under the panels, and this will bring cooling effect to the panels. And when the panels are being cooled, they produce more than when they are hot. And another thing that we also look at is the circuit breakers. These are the security guards of the system. They protect the system from overcurrent, like a fuse, but they are reusable. They are very usable. When they trigger, restart them again and use them again. So they are there to safeguard the system, especially the AC. Just like we have this one, this is a DC breaker, this an AC breaker. They are there to protect those other things that are connected beneath them. So when there is any over voltage, this beyond what the breaker can handle, they will trip off. So that is their uses. And the other thing we also look at is the surge protector. This one protects from lightning and sudden power spikes. Just a sudden, and it will help to redirect. You can see it has an earth terminal to help to redirect whatever surge to the earth. And lastly, we have combiner box. This combiner box collects power from multiple panels and routes it to the inverter. You see, just like the name say combiner box, it combines panels together so that they will now have one output that will now bring to the inverter. So you see the combiner box, it has the breakers and also surge in it. So it is the same thing that we are doing with the breaker box at the end part, but this one is more advanced and it makes the work easier, and it makes you to be able to trace any defect panels easily. That's why this combiner box is very useful and very important, and it makes work neat and simple to troubleshoot. So you see, solar system is more than just panels. It's not just I want to do solar system, but it's a combination of carefully chosen components. And when you choose your components wisely, when you choose the right components, you see that the system will work effectively, efficiently. So by next class, we'll be looking at how to size solar panel, or also we'll be looking at basic wiring. We'll be looking at basic wiring of solar system before we go on how to size everything, because we talked about sizing of panels, sizing of batteries, inverters, even the wires, the breaker, and every other thing. So just like we have said, follow our page, drop your comment in the drop your question in the comment section. Whatever question that you want to ask about this topic, drop it in the comment section, and on Friday answers will be given to you. So always follow our classes on Mondays by 6 p.m, Wednesday by 6 p.m, and on Fridays by 8:30 p.m. Catch ya on Wednesday.